So step 1 is start and use standard IPT.
So you can just hit part like that.
Okay.
Double click it. It takes a little while. Hit OK.
Okay.
Now, number 2.
Make a new sketch on the XY plane.
Okay, so hit the yellow pencil. It's a 2D sketch, top left-hand side, XY. Next.
Go to Tools tab, Application Options, Sketch. Oh, okay.
Yeah, what number is that?
That's 3.
3, Tools, Application Options, and
Sketch tab.
So the tab is here. It kind of shows you how much there is in Inventor here. And so there's the Sketch tab. And what does this say?
Check the Snap to Grid and Display Grid Lines buttons.
So you should recall when we did Microsoft Word, you could turn on the grid lines and you could also snap to grid. So these are set to a default size, and you will get that little warning and you just ignore that. And now when you look at your screen, you get the grid lines. Next. 4.
Sketch a 1-inch square using Snap to Grid.
So back to the Sketch tab, use the rectangle. Now, because I turned on the Snap to Grid, you can see that my start point of the rectangle is actually jumping around, and that's because the Snap to Grid is based on a 1/16 of an inch grid line. So I can actually see that's 0.5, and I'm going exactly 1 inch using Snap to Grid. Next is number
5. Dimension it 1 inch by 1 inch.
So click line, click dimension. If this is really, in this case, just to check that you got it right. And
finish the sketch and extrude the profile 1 inch.
Now, if you don't have a pencil, you can do this later. When you do the extrude, my recommendation is to go both ways. So what you're actually doing is doing a 1 inch extrude, and it's coming from the XY plane and going 1/2 inch each side. Next.
7. Fillet all the corners by 0.125 inch.
Now, all the corners, how many corners? Who's really quick with this?
All the corners.
How many corners on the... Someone's saying 8?
12.
8 plus 4 is 12. Correct. I got the right assistant here. So the easy way to do this is use feature. Remember, you can do edge, loop, or feature, and you click the whole thing. The default size is 0.125, and that's going to work out really nicely. Next.
8. Start a new sketch on one side and draw a small circle in the center of the face, 1 diagonal radius. Extrude the circle with a cut, and then type the distance.
Okay, hold.
Okay.
So 1 diagonal, what I'm saying there is 1 diagonal is actually that distance. Okay. So I'm going up 1/16 and across 1/16. So you don't need to, but if you really didn't put your snaps on, it's 0.177. Okay. Now, of course, this is now positioned in the center because the center point's on the origin. If this was, say, for example, a 3, you would put the other dots like that. If it was a 5, you would put them here. And you can see it's very easy to get them perfectly spaced. And even the 6, if it was a 6, I'm not going to go through every face. It would be like this. And so you finish the sketch, and what was the next bit?
So you started the new sketch, and then you extrude the circle with a cut.
So extrude the circle with a cut. So if I go to extrude, if there's more than one profile, I have to pick the profiles. Now, I'll do the 3. Don't be surprised if it does that. The distance should be
0.02.
So all you actually have to type in is 0.02. It knows it's going to be inches. A cut looks like that. Now, what's happening here? If I try that, I'm going to try. Have you got any money on you?
No.
Can I borrow some?
No.
No, unless I'm printing it, right? So actually, if I try to cut nothing, I can't. So you have to get the direction correct. Okay, the same if you joined into a surface. So say I do every face. I don't think I mentioned this, but the 3 would be opposite. Does anyone know the rule for this? Opposite faces of a die or dice add up to. Someone said 6, impossible. 7, because you got 6 and 1, 5 and 2, 4 and 3, right? And that's all of them.
Oh.
So here is the next step.
9. Now go to the next side and repeat.
Okay, so we got that. 11 is 11's kind of off on the sheet.
Okay.
So I did squeeze this all onto one side, so it's over here. Go ahead.
So fillet the bottom corner of the holes by 0.8 by 0.08 inch.
Okay, so to do the holes, again, the easy way is to pick feature. And what size did I say?
0.08.
0.08. And I think I worked that out years ago. Now, you can actually go into the browser over here to do that. And that does all the bottom corners at once. Then you just do your coloring. Now, 3 levels of color, of course. Now, some of you are just going to finish this really quickly today. So finish it before you go back if you're going to edit your camera. Finish this first. You can, of course, change colors over here, and you can also, so if I make these, say glossy black, that changes those all at once. So you can do all the dots at the same time. So that was 12. 13 is?
Now design a dice with different numbers of sides. There are many different types of ways to do this.
Okay, so I will allow you to figure that out.
Okay.
So that's more like a real problem-solving problem for you. And has anyone got a good joke? You got a good joke for us today?
No, I'm not good at jokes.
Nobody?
Andrew.
Yeah? A pun?
Yes. I would love to tell you about a pun about mirrors. I would, but I don't think it would be a good reflection on it.
So a pun about mirrors, it wouldn't be a good reflection on you?
Because mirror shows reflection.
What a lawyer swear to court! What a lawyer swear to court!
Oh, that's a good.
Lawsuits!
Oh, that's a very good topic for today. Okay, thank you, folks. Lawsuit, good. And we are gonna. That's all, folks. We're over, and